Post-game as NJIT, they get the win over Hartford and get their third America East victory of the season. And that brings us to getting the opportunity to talk with assistant coach LaTonya Watson. And LT, pleasure to be talking with you. I feel like it's been forever since you and I last had a chat, and it's great to have you here.
I know. It's a pleasure being able to speak to you after getting the dub today. So you always make me smile.
I appreciate it. So, it's a good time, when you get the opportunity to talk to you or one of the assistants, because that means a victory has been had, and, your team really fought hard today.
Absolutely.
Especially after coming back from a tough series up against Maine. When it came to the game plan, do you feel like your team executed the game plan in every way you could have hoped for today?
I think so. For the most part, this was a really, really fast turnaround. Thinking that we were going to be playing Albany, and then all of a sudden at 5 o'clock on Wednesday, we got to reverse and change directions. Our players always have that trust in our staff to make sure that they're prepared, and our staff working really, really hard and overtime, obviously, to make sure that we understood Hartford and what they were trying to do. And then at the start of the game with the starting lineup and who was playing in this game was like totally different than what we anticipated. So again, in the day of COVID where change is a normal thing, our players did a fantastic job of adjusting.
Especially too with Hartford, because they're a team that's come in very physical. They like to attack the glass, and that was something I know they were really trying to do today. But your team really took advantage of that and was able to rebound in their own right and generate points. So to see your team match their physicality, how much does that excite you for what it potentially could bring to tomorrow when these two teams meet again?
Well, from the jump, Coach Lane talked about having to match their physicality. That was something that was a focal point of ours. But we also wanted to encourage our players to be confident in driving and attacking and just being in attack mode all the time. So getting the ball and pounding it in the paint, obviously, with us having a significant size advantage in the post, we were really, really happy to see 34 points in the paint. So again, our players really, really embraced that, and I think that helped us out a lot.
Kenna Squier is growing before everybody's eyes here at NJIT, and I can sit here and ask you about the points, but that's another conversation for another day because she did what she's capable of doing, but she was able to get a good amount of assists. She was able to rebound the basketball as well, too. Her physicality is growing. Is that large in part of what she's been able to just going through the motions in the sense of just learning what you guys are teaching? And is it just game reps and everything that goes along with it for her to become more of a physical player?
Well, Kenna is a seasoned veteran, if you ask me. I mean, being able to play all of last year. Being her position coach, I really challenged her to do other things and concentrate on like the game in its totality, not just the points. And for Kenna, she's best when she's aggressive, and she's best when she's hunting the ball. And so rebounding is a huge thing that I've challenged her to be able to do from a perimeter perspective.
Dani Evans quietly had herself a really good day.
We call her Ice.
I could see why you call her
We just
Ice.
named her Ice because, nothing bothers her.
I could see that. And you know what, too? Not that I want to say she's emotionless, but just understands her role, and she just does it to the best of her ability. And today, able to hit some really quality shots and be effective as well. What have you seen from her development that's allowed her to become a really good player for your program?
Well, I think just nothing really bothers Dani. And when you're playing a game that can be stressful with its ebb and flow, I mean, she just takes it in stride, and that fortunately, especially being able to do things quietly, and I mean, she rebounded and she hit big shots. She got to the free throw line. She did all those things. And I think, as Dani comes along, she's going to see the fruits of her labor. The injury earlier in the season kind of set her back a little bit, but, she's found her sea legs. So
I tell you, what, it's the beauty of this schedule in some aspects is that, especially if you win, you get to come right back tomorrow and do it all over again.
Oh
At least
man,
try
I might have to bring you a gift or something like that. I don't know.
But with that being said, now too, it's your team is going to get the opportunity to come back on the floor tomorrow and try to do this again. How do you carry that momentum, especially knowing that Hartford, they're going to want to be hungry and try to
Absolutely.
avoid going home being down 0-2 here to your squad?
Well, we talked about we haven't swept anybody, and we do want to treat it as its own game. Like this game is behind us. Changes are going to be made on each side, and we got to be ready to do that. So treating each game individually on its own merits, because we didn't particularly shoot the ball well from beyond the arc, going 5 for 22. But maybe tomorrow is a different look and whatnot. So I think they're still hungry because we beat New Hampshire in the first game, and then lost a close second game, and then we beat Vermont in the first game, and then we lost in the second game. So this time we really want to come out 2-0 on this weekend.
Well, we hope that tomorrow you and I are doing this again,
Absolutely.
because that means
Can we set a date?
we can certainly set a date
Okay,
and
if we
time.
put it in ink,
Let's
does that
put it in
mean?
ink. I don't know what time it is around. It's after 4, so I guess whenever the game is done, you and I can meet up here again. But Coach,
Cool.
thank you for your insight as always, and it's great getting a chance to sit down and talk with you. And like I said, let's do this again tomorrow.
I agree with that. I look forward to it.
Absolutely. Well, folks, that's Coach LT, and once again, NJIT victorious over at Hartford.